Hey everybody, welcome to our first broadcast, or should say podcast, for Brunswick Plantation Resort and Golf. I'm alongside our golf director, Josh Kaczynski. My name is Scott Threlkill. Josh, how's it going today?
It's going pretty good. Beautiful, not gloomy-ish day, but it could be better.
Not quite sunny, not quite cloudy, but either way, it's enough light that we should be out playing golf.
We can definitely still be playing golf in this.
Temperature's perfect. This episode is brought to you by the Hickory Chef Bistro, located inside Brunswick Plantation in beautiful Calabash, North Carolina. We want to talk some local stuff. We've had a few customers. One of the biggest things they always want is they wish they could stay up to date on all the info, all the news, kind of what's going on in the Myrtle Beach, Brunswick County golf industries. One thing we like to do is play golf. Mm-hmm. So, course conditions, things like that, we stay up to date on a lot. You just got a glaring review, just an amazing review from one of our golf packages that just stayed, talking about knowledge and, there's importance. People want recommendations. They like it.
That's what I think they reach out to, myself as a golf director, but not just here at Brunswick, but they reach out to golf directors everywhere, and they look to them as being the guy that has all the knowledge, that should know what's going to make for a fun time, whether they're looking for high-end courses or cost-effective courses or something in between. That's going to make it a fun trip for the group of guys that's coming down. So they're hoping that we have, like you said, all of the latest news and up to date on what's happening at those courses that they're trying to play.
Myself, being in the golf business and being a golf director for so many years, I've always felt like that's what sets a good company aside, or sets them apart from the others. It's one thing to sell a golf package. Yes, you got a great deal. You got your rooms. You got a great golf package. Great. But did you just get put on a bunch of courses that, they were told to sell versus what should actually be sold?
Right. I mean, being in the sales side of not just this job, every sales job you could be in, are you trying to sell on price or are you trying to sell on experience? And that's what I think I'd like to pride myself on, is I want to sell you on a great experience to where it may cost you more than you were willing to spend, but you're going to have a better time, have better course conditions, and overall better experience that, it was worth the extra money I spent just because it was what the group wanted to go and do.
Yeah, because a lot of times, in the golf package world, people forget, yes, you might have a Tidewater or so that is notoriously more expensive than a lot of other courses.
Yeah.
But we've got, you've got packages out there now that have, rate breaks or rate periods, if you will, that if you book so far in advance, you can knock $30, $40, even $50 off a round.
And that's what you want to tell the groups when they're not just here, but if you book, say you finish up a trip in October and every October you're going to be taking a trip, while you're there and in person with, say the golf director, why not try and book out? I wish we all had crystal balls and we knew what all course conditions are going to be like a year in advance, but you can kind of base it off of what it was like this year, because most of the courses around here stay pretty typical year in and year out, same time period, what the conditions are going to look like. So you really want to just get it in the books as soon as possible.
Yeah, and one thing I know you pride yourself in too is when you play a golf course, or I play a golf course, or one of our friends play, you do pride yourself in hearing that, if a course is in bad shape, if it doesn't break up the package too much or won't change the price by too much, call the guy.
All right.
Call him and say, hey, I shouldn't say guy, call the group. Because at Brunswick, we have we have a lot of ladies that like playing out here.
Sure. Yep.
But you call the group leader and you kind of give them a heads up, and then at least give them the choice. Do they want to take their chance or not?
And it goes a long way with those groups that at the end of the trip, if they're like, hey, we played it, we really enjoyed this course. Like you said, we heard that these conditions weren't as great. Like you mentioned, I just did get a review back from a guest that came and stayed, and he did go through the list of courses that I sent him, and we did talk about what was in good shape, what wasn't in such good shape, what are you looking for in a package, let's focus more to these courses. And he did. He gave me his honest feedback about the courses, and overall he was very happy with his experience.
Well, yeah, I'm glad he was happy with his experience, as I know you are as well. I think moving forward, I think that's how this episode or this podcast came about. He would love to be a part of a newsletter. We do have newsletters.
Yeah.
But nowadays, in the digital world, why not come up with a podcast and talk about the local, the local news, local information?
Yeah, it's just, people want to hear what's going on, what course conditions are like. Do they have any changes in the foreseeable future? I know being in the area, every course is always going through some sort of change, good or bad. And they're always trying to look out for all of their customers and make it the best course possible for the area.
Yeah. Well, without further ado, I guess let's talk about. I think each week we just kind of want to hit on 2 or 3 golf courses. Mm-hmm. We don't play 5 days a week, so I wish we did. I know, me too, but we can't. We have real jobs we have to do and things things that have to be taken care of. But in that letter to you that was written by the group, one of the things that was mentioned was Leopard's Chase. Leopard's Chase Golf Club it's a great layout. Mm-hmm. Absolutely fantastic layout. It's tough, but it's worth it. When in great shape, it's by far a golf course that I think people should play.
It's got a little bit of everything. It's got short holes, long holes, some water. It is not for the average golfer per se. You got to play the correct tees, right? You got to make sure that you're playing in the right area to enjoy the course and take it in for what it is.
Just because you play the blues back home doesn't mean you want to play even the whites here.
Yeah.
I mean, there is no shame in playing a different set of tees. I've started doing it. I enjoy the game a lot more. I'm not here to beat myself up. I'm here to have a good time.
Yeah.
So, unfortunately, summer was really bad for Leopard's Chase. Several reports, and they were all true. The golf course was in bad shape. Mm-hmm. It is coming around. Unfortunately, when it comes to growing grass, it's a process.
Right. And there's a time for it and a time to get it done. They're going in that right direction to make up for what they had and what they lost. It wasn't a great fall for them, and we tried to steer clear of that. And that's kind of what we told the groups that came in was, hey, it's not where it used to be. If you would like to go out there, still go ahead. Enjoy it. If it's one of your favorite courses, go and play it. But we'll just have these expectations in place that it's not in the shape that it has been before.
Right. And, they just hired a new superintendent over the summer. So I would expect April, for it to be back mostly. I'd probably say 80-85%. Probably won't get any bad reviews. People might say, well, not as impressive as it used to be.
Right.
But I would say by fall of 2020, it'll be perfect.
I think
it'll be back to where it needs to be.
Right.
Another golf course that's, kind of under discussed or under promoted in my mind is Carolina National.
The review we did get back from this group was it was the perfect course to complete a package. It was in great shape. They have 27 great holes. They did get to play all 27, so they got to experience everything, and they said all 3 nines there were fantastic. And that's kind of what you expect for a course like that to round out a package or complete a package is something that has a little bit more to offer with the 27 holes that they have there. It is a little bit of a drive depending on where you're staying. If you're at Brunswick, it's about 25 minutes north of us. Trying to get out there. It's a little hidden gem is what I like to call it because it's off the beaten path a little bit of what you consider Calabash and Myrtle Beach, but it's in a great location. The staff there is fantastic when you show up, from the bag drop all the way to the cart staff and everything, and the food and beverage, conditions were fantastic, greens and everything were rolling great.
All right. So it sounds like Carolina National, definitely put it on a list. If you're looking to come this spring, spring of 2020, put it on the list. I think it's a good one, and it doesn't really jump the cost. So
correct.
Another golf course I want to talk about we played recently was Shaftesbury Glen, located on 905. It's about 30 minutes from Brunswick Plantation Resort. They went through a lot of renovations. Mm-hmm. But what are a couple things you noticed or took away from it?
The bunkering they did, where they put in a lot of waste areas, I think just about every hole they created waste areas. You know, with all the hurricanes that we've had in the past couple of years, they were prone to flooding. Putting in these waste areas is going to help with that issue. It's going to drain some of that water. And the best part with these waste areas is they have it going down both sides of all the fairways. It helps with pace of play. If it is a cart path only hole, it does move, you know, the groups along. They run closer to the green, so the walks from getting closer to the pin and getting in and off the greens definitely helps. They redid a lot of the greens as well. When you go out there playing, it's pretty great, you know, from what we're doing and everything like that. It rolled very true. The greens are very big in size, so it's not like if you hit a little bad shot, you're really gonna miss.
You don't really get punished out there.
No, and it's wide open. You know, from what we saw, it's pretty open off the tees. It's no water really comes into play too much on a couple holes, possibly, but you really got to hit a bad shot to get into those areas and everything like that. So it was something that I enjoyed. I know a lot of our guests would really enjoy going out there and experiencing Shaftesbury.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was very playable. You know, it doesn't hurt that you and I played extremely well. But to mention the waste bunkers, you know, yes, it's pace of play. Yes, they get closer to the green. But to be more specific, you know, there's a lot of people still coming down, been coming down for 30 years in Myrtle Beach, that are now getting up into their 70s, if not 80s, right? Shaftesbury is actually a good course for them, because now with the addition of those waste bunkers, getting closer, you know, if you have physical ailments, or it's just a lot harder to move, or you move at a slower pace, you're right. It gets you closer, picks up the pace, you know, gets you closer to where you need to be. And even if it was a rainy day, cart path only, you get to go down both sides. So it really shortens that path to the ball, you know, helping pick up the pace of play.
Right.
You know, they did put in the new, the Sunday Bermuda.
Yeah.
They were rolling fantastic. This was just last week.
Probably one of my best putting days I've ever had.
It was, well, I wouldn't say by far my best, but it's pretty close. But yeah, definitely. You know, I think Shaftesbury is a must play. Now, speaking of these courses, you know, you're sitting up here, you're the golf director at Brunswick Plantation Resort and Golf. You know, if you had to give me a package today using one of those courses, which one are you going to do?
If, you know, you're really calling in, you're really trying to complete the package, it'd be kind of hard not to put Carolina National in there. Again, they have 27 holes, all 3 nines are different. You're going to get a little bit of everything off those packages. You know, pairing it with what we have right now is the Brunswick Players Package. That includes Brunswick Plantation, Oyster Bay. You know, those 3 courses are what in that rotation. You only need 2 of those rounds to get that package. Lunch is included, 2 drinks is included. It's really something that just wraps up a good golf vacation.
Absolutely. And you know, one thing to point out too is, you know, even though it's only 2 rounds, doesn't mean it's the only package available. You can stay 5 nights, put this package in, and then add another package and merge it all to make your 5-night 4-round, 5-night 5-round, you know, 7, however much you want to play and stay, that's up to you. But, you know, I think it's a great package. Gives you some incentive. Who doesn't love lunch and a couple drinks?
Absolutely. Great customization.
Absolutely. All right, folks. Well, that's it for us here at Brunswick Plantation Resort and Golf. My name is Scott Throkill, alongside Golf Director Josh Kaczynski for Brunswick Plantation Resort and Golf. Thank you for tuning in, and we will talk to you next week when we have more local news.